Hello everyone, this is Poornima Deepthi working as an assistant professor in the Department of Electronics and Communication Engineering in MLR Institute of Technology. So today's topic is addressing modes present in 8086 microprocessor. So this is the part of the series microprocessors and microcontrollers, and this addressing modes I was explaining is the part 2. Already part 1 addressing modes have been discussed. So in this part 2 addressing modes, I've been discussing what are the addressing modes and how many different types of addressing modes are there when considering the control transfer instructions, and for each and every instruction addressing modes I'll be discussing the examples and how to calculate the physical address for the given instructions depending upon the addressing modes. Now coming to the first thing, as I already told you, like what is the addressing mode means. Addressing mode is nothing but how we are specifying the data in the particular instruction. So this specifies the addressing modes. Basically, there are two types of addressing modes, depends upon the instruction. So depends upon the sequential control flow instruction. We are having 8 addressing modes. I already discussed those 8 addressing modes in part 1 series. If anyone didn't look into that, please refer that video. And now in this video, I will be discussing what are the addressing modes present in the control transfer instructions. So in this control transfer instructions, we are having 4 addressing modes. So basically, control transfer instruction has been divided into 2 types. First one is intra-segment and second one is inter-segment. In this intra-segment, it is again divided into direct and indirect. The same will be for inter-segment also. Inter-segment also we are having direct and indirect addressing modes. Now coming to the intra-segment addressing mode. So here the intra-segment addressing mode, the transfer the location to which control is to be transferred lies within the same segment. Then you can say that it is a intra-segment. So if the control when transferred to the other segment registers, then you can say that it is the inter-segment addressing mode. So here, if the control is transferred to within the same segment, then you can consider it as a intra-segment mode. So in that intra-segment mode, you can say that intra-segment direct mode represents here is we are mentioning the displacement where it will be traveled, or the label should be within the segment register only. So that label is also we are directly mentioning here in this particular example. Jump, JMP means jump instruction. I'll given that it is a short label, because what is this short label? Here we are having 2 types of labels, short label and long label, which is nothing but short jump or long jump. How can you say that which is the short jump or which is the long jump? If the displacement where we are mentioning here, like jump label 1, if this label 1 in particular program will be within the range of minus 128 to 127. So if it is a 8-bit signed displacement, then you can say that it is the short jump. If that particular thing is of 16-bit, then you can say that it is a long jump. But the thing is, the control should be transferred within the same segment. Then you can say that it is a intra-segment. And in that particular instruction, if we are mentioning it, the displacement, if we are mentioning it directly, then you can say that it is the intra-segment direct mode. Now coming to the second one, it is the intra-segment indirect mode. So here we are mentioning the address, but not in direct method. We are mentioning the address, which is nothing but indirect way. Suppose let us consider one example, like if we are writing one program to perform to identify the given data, whether the given data is even or odd. So what we will do, we will rotate the data. So I have been rotating the data. So I will be rotating the left side. If the data is having the carry is 1, you can say that it is the negative number, or you can say that it is the odd number. If carry is not present, you can say that it is the positive number, or you can say that it is the even number. So in that particular instructions, if we are having jump instruction, but here we are mentioning the data present indirectly. Here, if this location, this instruction has been in the location of 1234H, then here we are mentioning the BX register is having the, so what it will do, this control will be transferred to this particular address location, because the data which is holding BX register is 1234. So here we are mentioning the address indirectly. So it is nothing but the intra-segment indirect mode. So coming to the next in addressing mode, it is the inter-segment direct mode. In this particular addressing mode, the segment address along with the offset address, we've been mentioning it directly, because in inter-segment direct mode, the control is to be transferred not in the same segment, it will be transferred to the other code segments. So the control, if we are having this code segment 1, here code segment 2, if the data will be transferred, the processor control will be transferred to the other segment, other code segment, then you can say that it is the inter-segment. And here we are mentioning directly addresses. So this is nothing but the segment address. In this particular segment address, this would be the offset address. So we are directly mentioning that jump to this segment address 5000, and in that particular segment address, we are having the offset address. So the control will be transferred to the segment address 5000 first, and then it will be transferred to the particular address location where offset address 2000 is there. So if we are mentioning the address directly in this particular instruction, then you can say that it is the inter-segment direct mode. For the inter-segment indirect mode, it would be the indirect way. Here we are mentioning the address indirectly. So the control will be transferred to the location where these address locations will be holding. So that particular data, what 2000H address location is holding, the control will be moved to that particular address locations. So this is nothing but the inter-segment indirect mode, where we are mentioning the address indirectly. So this is all about the addressing modes of 8086 microprocessor for the sequential data transfer instructions and for the control data transfer instructions. Well, coming to how processor will calculate the effective address or physical address. So let us consider one example, one problem, that here the different contents which is present in each register has been given. So for that AX register is holding this value, BX register is holding this value. So how processor will calculate such type of instructions, such type of problems. So for in this case, here they are mentioning this is nothing but direct addressing mode, where address has been given in this particular instruction. So how to calculate? We need to consider this as effective address. So how physical address or effective address will be calculated? Data segment multiplied with 10H, and you should be added the offset address. Here they have already directly mentioned the offset address as 5000, and data segment address will be in data segment DS register. So into 10 plus what is the offset value? 5000. So 10,000 with 5,000, nothing but 15,000 is the physical address for this particular instruction. So coming to the next instruction, which addressing modes this instruction belongs to? So as here we are seeing two registers is there and one of the register is mentioned indirectly. So you can say that register indirect addressing mode. Here the physical address will be calculated by using the data segment 1000 into 10. And the address, the offset address will always be present in the register BX as the instruction is having the indirect BX register. So what is the value present in BX register? It is 2000. So 10,000 plus 2000, which is nothing but 12,000, will be the physical address for this particular instruction. So coming to the next one. So here the instruction is move AX, 5000, which is 16-bit displacement. As I already told you, if we are seeing the displacement in particular instruction, it would be the relative. So here the two operands are registers. So you can say that it is a register. And here BX register is mentioned indirectly. So it is nothing but relative register addressing mode. In this addressing mode, the displacement will be directly added to the address which is present in BX register. So how we will calculate the physical address? Data segment multiplied with 10H with, here the displacement 16-bit is directly given like 5000 plus the data present in BX. So BX register what we are having? 2000. So this will be added. So how much? 10,000 plus 7,000, which is nothing but 17,000 H. So the physical address for this particular instruction would be 17,000 H. So coming to the next instruction, here we are directly seeing that move AX, BX and SI. So BX is the base register and SI is the index register. So we can say that this instruction falls under the based indexed addressing mode. So how we will calculate the physical address for this particular type of instruction? The physical address will be the data segment multiplied with 10H, and the offset address will always be the adding of the registers BX and SI register, index register. The data present in SI is 3000. So 10,000 H plus 5,000, which is nothing but 15,000. So for this particular instruction, the physical address would be the 15,000 H. So coming to the last one. Here, as we are seeing the instruction move AX, 5000, here the displacement is of 16-bit. Along with BX register, which is nothing but base register and index register. So you can say that which addressing mode it will represent? It will represent relative based indexed addressing mode. Relative based indexed addressing mode. In this particular instruction, how we will calculate the physical address? So before going to the physical address, we need to have the offset address. How we will be calculating the offset address? So the offset address will always be calculated by taking the displacement along with the data present in BX register, which is nothing but the 2000, along with the data present in SI. So index register SI 3000, which is nothing but 10,000. This is the offset value. To calculate the physical address, what is the formula? To calculate the physical address, you need to have the segment register. Here always the segment register will be the data segment. If in the case of only string instructions, we will be calculating with the extra segment. Apart from that, we will always be calculating the address by taking the data segment. So here the data segment is 1000 multiplied by 10H along with offset address. So here this would be the 10,000, and here the offset address is also 10,000. So what is the physical address for this particular instruction which belongs to the relative based indexed addressing mode? It would be the 20,000H. So the physical address will be the 20,000H. This is how we will calculate the physical address for any instruction which belongs to different addressing modes. Okay. So until now I have been discussing the addressing modes for control transfer instructions, and how to calculate physical address or effective address for different addressing modes.